Oh, still in the bag.
Buy you presents and you don't care. That's how you are, Vicky.
Okay,
Tell me
so
you're spoiled without telling me you're spoiled.
What? You're spoiled if you're using a koozie. Just hold chaos.
exactly.
It's cold.
That's true.
That's spoiled.
That's super bougie, like eating your chicken.
Colder? Come on now.
You do not need
Princess life.
I still got the one in my bag from Florida.
Yeah.
What we're talking about. Yours is still in the bag.
Yeah, mine's still in the bag too.
Mine's still in the bag. Everything's still in the bag.
Yeah, everything. The charms, all of it. The charms and everything.
I can't with you guys. Yeah. My koozie is like displayed in my glass cabinet, all cute and
hello to everyone who is coming in. I hope you will stay.
You care about us.
I know, I care. My love is real deep.
Yep.
So everyone knows.
I mean, at least we know where the items are at in the bag.
Right.
Exactly. That's the important thing.
Right. You haven't lost them.
Yeah, I haven't lost the bag.
The bag.
We will use it on our next trip.
The bag.
It's in the bag.
Oh my God, Andrew and I had a whole conversation about that too. He thought he could teach me how to say it.
Did it work out?
Well, I'm like, don't get too comfortable because you know we're on live, right?
Oh.
Okay.
Too comfortable.
Amanda.
What?
I'm just saying, be careful with the conversation.
Bag? What's wrong with the conversation about bag?
Is somebody on another live? On the live?
Can't say bag.
There's an echo.
Do you? I'm here.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, we don't have nothing else. People are coming in and out.
Yeah. Scrolling in and scrolling out.
Talk about
You already had that.
Goes on about parenting.
The struggles.
The struggles.
All right, who wants to go first?
I mean, it's hard. 2-year-old is not that hard. So they don't do much. So.
Okay, I'll go first then. Okay, so I've been a mom since I was 18 years old. I got pregnant at 17. And I've been legally blind my entire life. So when I got pregnant at 17, I did not think about my vision. In that moment, I wasn't worried about my vision because I have pretty good front vision. I was never really concerned about being able to take care of her. I knew that I wouldn't be able to do certain things like colors, seeing if there's a, dirt or whatever on their face or, stuff like that, minor things like that. But I never was really worried. Now that I've had a child, 10 years after having my second child, things are a lot different because my vision is degenerative, so it gets worse over time. And I have lost some vision, just, a little that I've noticed. And so now, of course, with my new baby, it's a little different. Things are a lot harder, definitely colors. Keeping an eye on her is a little harder because I just don't have as much detail as I used to have with the older kids. And also being a young mom, I think that we kind of teach our kids to be independent faster because we're lazy, like just being honest, we're a little lazy. I want to take a nap. So I'm gonna let my daughter run around the room. I'm gonna make sure that there's no danger in it, but this is her room. So I just kind of let her run around. I wasn't really worried about that. Now having a house full of kids and full of different dangers, it's not as easy because I don't have my mom to kind of, look out for me like she used to when I was with the other two. I guess the hardest struggles for me is definitely that my older two, their father's not in their life. So I have to be mom and dad, even though my boyfriend's here and he's very involved in their life. It's not the same, So I have to kind of make up for their dad's loss or absence, and it can get hard, especially when you have a daughter who feels like her father doesn't love her because he's not around, or a son who's just like feels sorry for his dad. So those are my struggles. It's more of a emotional struggle right now than a visual struggle, because I really don't think that takes vision or anything like that to be a good parent. I think being a good parent is your love and your dedication to your children.
Yes. Definitely.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing all that, Shanice.
You're welcome.
Who's up next?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I guess
Go
Erica's next.
Go ahead, Erica. Let's hear your story.
I
You've got a good story, a real good story.
I don't know how to. Okay. As everybody, well, not everybody know, but most people know that, yes, I am visually impaired, but I have 2 visually impaired children, as well as myself. It's hard because I have to teach them that people may talk about you or, call you names, whatever the case may be, but you have to be strong and basically ignore what other people have to say about you. I try to teach them to love themselves and that everybody is different. I don't know. I think the hardest part for me with them too is that now they're getting used to taking up for themselves. But it's harder because they still don't understand, or they have to teach the people around them their eye conditions, which they shouldn't have to, but I think that's the hardest part for me with parenting to vision impaired kids.
Yeah, just teaching them how to stay secure with themselves and stuff.
Yeah, that's hard.
We got Des here.
Hey, Desiree.
Hey, Des. Are we live?
Yes, ma'am.
Live right now, Des.
Live and in action.
Hello. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, introduce yourself, ma'am. Who you are, your condition, and how many children you have. The usual.
This one is mute. That
Yes. We want you to introduce yourself.
So echo. Is it me echoing?
No.
Huh?
No.
Oh. Hello. Hi. My name is Desiree. What do I say? What do y'all want me to say?
How old are you, and what's your condition, and how many children you have?
Hi, my name is Desiree. I am 27, and I have an autoimmune condition called neuromyelitis optica, aka DeVick's disease, and I have a 4-year-old daughter.
Hi, Des.
Hi, Des.
Hi, Des.
I'm at work, but my client is 15 minutes late, so I don't think he's coming.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Princess Samantha said, hey, y'all.
Hi.
Hey, Princess Samantha.
Hi, Princess.
Okay, so me and Erica went talking about our struggles of parenting. I said mine is more emotional, with dealing with absent father and stuff. Erica said it's hard to make sure her kids are secure with their disability, right? Am I right, Erica?
Yes.
And so now we're just picking the next person. Who wants to go next?
Hello.
Anisha?
Yep, I'll go. So for me, I started losing my vision 4 years ago. So up until then, I was fully sighted. I had, my oldest was 5 and my youngest was 1 when I first started losing my vision. And I think the hardest part for me losing my vision and being a parent was I was the one that drove my kids everywhere for doctor's appointments and all of that type of stuff. So losing the independence of being able to drive them to do those types of things was really hard. And I still struggle with this one every day, is being scared that once I do lose vision, like totally, not being able to see my kids. I will say that, like, when I started losing my vision, my biggest fear was not being able to watch my 1-year-old grow up, like seeing him grow up and like seeing his facial features and all of that stuff. And then the same with my older son as well. I was just scared that I wasn't going to be able to watch them grow into the handsome young men that I know they'll be, and to be there for them and their kids and their families and their futures that they build. I just affect all of that, and I still struggle with that to this day, but doing everything that I can to just be present now for them, and to each day learn a little bit more and more how I can be present, even if I do go totally blind in the future. What I can do to be there for them is definitely one of my biggest struggles with losing my vision as a parent. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Totally, it does. I'll piggyback off of what Anisha said. It is a struggle when you used to be able to drive and you used to be able to, take your kids places. Being a single parent, because at the time I was losing my vision, I also got divorced, so I was a single parent, completely on my own, in my own house, without a driver. So not being able to get them to the doctor's appointment or trying to rearrange transportation or rides was very difficult. Or if they missed the bus in the morning for school, it was literally like this whole struggle of, how am I going to be the good parent to truly get them to school? Like, how can I provide for them? When before it was so simple. If they missed the bus, I would drive them to school. And then it became just like, okay, they missed the bus, now what? Who can I call? Can I call everyone in my phone book trying to get them, to class and where they need to be? And doing homework, being able to see, like, okay, they come home from school, being able to see if they're doing their homework, being able to see if they're just watching YouTube on their tablets. I have no idea. I can't tell that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have teenage sons, so the whole, like, honesty thing, real rough. Real rough. Like, they say they're doing what they need to do, but a certain for sure negative. I mean, it's a little bit easier now that my oldest can drive, so that has provided a little bit of help back into my life. But if he were to move out, then I would be back in the same situation. Having a young child, not being able to drive, and then just having to rely on public transportation friends or Ubers to try to get them to school. And where I used to live, none of that was available. There was no, like, transportation or buses. I literally was trying to call every neighbor and everyone to try to help me out. And it was a struggle.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a struggle.
It is. Oh, yes, of course. Always. Doctor's appointments and all that.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, because they're not cheap.
Right.
Not at all. I know my child gives me with the honesty thing. I'll be like, what are you doing? And he'll try to lie about it. And I'm like, I was your age. I've done what you're doing.
Right.
I'm blind doesn't mean no.
But, like, I wonder how it goes for, like, because I would babysit my niece who is an infant, and I know when my kids were little, I had more vision, so this wasn't as much of a struggle. But sometimes I would be like, I wouldn't know if she had, like, a snotty nose.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know that I needed to wipe it. So
yes.
Those of you with littler children, how do you handle those situations?
Well, that's probably one of my biggest struggles. Even as a kid, when I knew I was gonna grow up and get married and have kids, that's something that I even mentioned to my mom. Like, oh, Mommy, I'm gonna be able to take care of my kids. I'm gonna just need you to make sure they don't have boogers. Like, she actually told me that. I said that, So I guess it's just knowing that they're sick, right? So I hear that their nose is clogged. I know that it's going to be coming out at some point. Sometimes I will use my hand to feel if it's not there, and then I will wipe it. That's just all I really do is just go by touch. Like you can't be a blind mom without not being like grossed out by stuff.
Yeah.
You can't actually be a mom in general, but
We said Des?
Smell.
And smell?
Smell.
smell.
Yeah, because I use that smell for poop too.
Yeah.
To know like, oh, okay, I didn't wipe that good. Let me go back and,
You can smell sick,
Okay, yeah.
Sticky
True.
runny nose and stuff.
Right.
But, yeah, feel for sure.
Problem too, like putting camera in and like they're not stains, but like spots or dirt. It's dirty, and I didn't realize it. I'm like, well, I got the clean drawer.
Yeah.
My husband, it's you need to go change them. Okay.
Yeah, I go through that a lot. I mean, I would definitely with stains. I can't see stains, so unless it's like a dark stain on something light or something white on something dark.
Right.
Yeah, because contrast is so, like, it matters so much. To us.
Yeah. I guess it's one of those things where like people just gotta understand that you're not dirty, it's just you can't see it.
I went through a lot of wipes. A lot of wipes.
Yeah.
I get through the process of when I would buy like 3 at a time, like a 3-pack of wipes at a time, and that lasted.
Yeah.
Like, it's not anymore to make sure that.
Yep,
Make
definitely.
sure.
Especially with girls, because they'll go inside sometimes. You got to make sure you get all of it.
Yeah, go in there and get it.
My mom.
I know, and that was like with I raised boys. So then when I was like babysitting my niece, I was like, I don't know how to wipe a baby girl's butt. Like, oh my goodness, this is
My
way too
mom
much.
would like.
I was stressed.
Yeah.
My mom would change her, and she would like use like 3 wipes max, like boom, boom, boom. Like, hold on, no,
Yeah.
I need a
Girl.
I be having the wipes ready, okay?
I would get 4 wipes together and wipe, and then do another layer of 3 or 4 wipes and wipe again. With everything. Cameras back. Go up your stomach. Just.
Annabelle says hi.
Hey,
Hi, Annabelle. All right, Vicky, I think you're up.
I know, right? Or Des, you want to go, Des, real quick? Because you're at
Des?
work.
What are we doing?
Do you have any, struggles or worries or anything about, being a mom in general or just being a blind mom?
What's the hardest
Or
part
wants or
about it?
fears, anything?
Right now, I would say where we're at in life. Just her like going off. Like this is her first year, her first time not being with me, up under me, or with my mom. So we're in preschool this year, and then she's never been to daycare or anything. So trusting her with other people. I don't know if that's blindness, but like,
No, it's just
I feel like
mom.
everything's just 10 times more
Yes.
heightened with the blindness. And so making sure that she looks right, making sure that she looks good, like going to school. Y'all, she went to school last week. I kid you not. She had on panties the night before. We showered, we did our thing, put pajamas on. She gets up in the morning, gets dressed. I help her get dressed. She had them on. She had on 1 pair of panties. Why did she come home with 3 pair of panties on? She had 3 pairs. And when? And she said, I told you to her. And it's just like, girl.
That's funny.
I mean, I guess 3 is better than 0.
That's why I thought you was going to say none. I was gonna be like, wait.
How did you get? So it's just like making sure like you're on top of things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And not sending your kid to school with 3 pairs of panties on. Trying to balance. Like, she wants to cook more in the kitchen. I'm like, girl, okay, don't stress me out, please. And just
all kind of stuff. She's a little independent person, and with that comes all kind of stress. So,
yeah.
that's where we're at right now.
Right.
With me,
No, hold on, sorry. I will say about the poop situation. She's potty trained. She's good to go. I still don't feel comfortable with her wiping her own butt, but I'm not in a place mentally prepared to teach her how to wipe her own butt and feel comfortable with it. So I'm not ready for that.
You better get ready. School.
Wiping her poopy butt and teaching her. Like, I just feel like it's gonna be a mess. So
Yeah.
definitely.
A whole nother thing of having to find where all the hand marks and stuff is at. Yep.
trying to figure out a system of like what works, and I'm like,
Yeah.
That's why he uses the bathroom number 2 every night for his showers, so I don't have to worry about him at school.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wow.
I'm not ready.
That's funny.
Okay, I'll be ready.
All right.
Me next, I guess. So I guess with me, I guess the number one thing I struggle with being a visually impaired mom is just being by myself and having to do everything by myself. Because me and my child's father, we did split. So now it's just me, and I never saw myself raising a child by myself. That was something I never wanted to do. But now I find myself having to do it. And it just sucks sometimes because I'm out here in the backwoods, like literally by the cow fields, and it'll literally take about 30 minutes for anybody to come near me or come to my house to help me if something were to happen. So I had a lot of fears of just crazy, irrational fears. Not irrational, but it makes sense to me. You know, like someone breaking into my house and it's just me and my daughter, or me being across the house doing something and she's in her room and something happens. I go in there and I don't know what's wrong, or if she hit her head on something, because I won't be able to see if she made a mark on her because I can't see colors. So if she got a mark on her that's red, I won't be able to see the red mark on her. So I'm it's scary having to be just by myself and trying to figure it out on my own. Plus, me being in school, making sure I'm doing my schoolwork right, but also making sure my child is not behind, in her speech or her colors or anything like that. And it's just trying to balance it out on my own. That's the number one thing that I struggle with, or that I feel bad about, that I'm doing it on my own now. So,
but I think a lot of these topics that we talk about really spread from just not just being a visually impaired mom or a blind mom. They really go to just being a mom or a parent in general.
Absolutely.
We certainly, have these other parents, I'm sure, have these struggles and they don't have a visual impairment.
Yeah.
So I don't think,
Yeah, I think that it's hard to be a mom in general, but then when you throw in some of the tiniest things, like, am I getting all the poop? Am I getting the snot? It just makes it a little more stressful.
Exactly.
I don't know. You know what I always heard or seen about being visually impaired mom is whenever you take your kids to the park, and you can't see where they are, you know what I mean? Or,
yeah, I can't find them.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happened to me with Leah, and I felt like an awful mother because I sat on the bench holding her, and I could not bring myself to just let her go and play, even if it was a fenced-in area or around the playground. I still could not bring myself to let her go and play, and then I felt awful that I couldn't let her go play.
Yeah.
Right. Looking around, and she wants to go play with the kids, but I'm like, if you're more than 5 feet away from me, I lose you, and I can't see you anymore. I'm just holding on to you, and we're supposed to sit here and watch everybody else play.
Yeah.
And
it is scary.
It is scary to let them go, but it's also like you said, you felt bad because you wanted to.
Yeah, I had that problem with my kids getting off the bus, I would remember what they're wearing. Okay, he's wearing a red shirt. I know it's red because they said it was red before they got on the bus. Then he'll get off, and then another little boy got a red shirt, and they kind of the same skin tone, and I'm just like, oh, which one is mine? Which one do I walk up to? I'll just wait for them to come to me.
Right.
Yes, when you're going to like school programs, things at school, and you're trying to find your kid, and you're
Yeah.
trying to be like that super supportive mom, like, hey, and then you're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
not even my kid. I'm screaming, and it's not even my kid up there right
Yep.
now.
That hurts.
You recognize me.
Sometimes that hurts to not be able to see their expressions when they're, doing their little school performances. Like when, when Alicia was playing band, I just see a whole bunch of people up there. I don't see the instruments. I don't see none of that. But, it's kind of sad that I can't point out. There's mine right there,
Yeah.
And Mariah, like, going to gymnastics every week, she, like, will do, like, thumbs up, but she's always doing a thumbs up. It's like, oh.
That's so sweet.
And it's like, dang, girl. Like, she's like, you just give me a thumbs up. And then it's like the other parents in the room, it just feels like all eyes are on you. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're not watching your kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you walk through like the screen glass,
Mm-hmm.
and all the parents are in the room watching their kids through the screen glass, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, so you see how they get excited for their kids, but you don't see yours the same way to be able to jump up in that moment. Yep.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And then it's like you don't want the other parents to think like, oh, well, she's not watching. She don't
I'm
care.
not
Like,
taking your parents.
Mhm.
My kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes having the cane definitely helps advocate for like the fact that like I didn't see it. I'm not trying to be a bad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Latunza, Dominique, and Amber's here.
Hi.
And they all said, hey, ladies.
One thing that always still to this day scares me too is that using my cane. I use my cane to walk my kids to school, but like the functions, like family functions and stuff like that they have for the school, I always am worried that my 10-year-old is going to be embarrassed to have me walking around with my cane. But and I know that he's not, because he tells me, Mom, use it. It's okay. Like, I don't care. Like, go ahead and use it. But there's always that fear that in the moment his friends say something and then he gets embarrassed and then he's like, oh, don't do it again.
Mhm.
I
do have that fear.
he'll just fight for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the one thing they will do. Don't nobody play but they mom, okay?
Nobody play with my mom.
Not when it's something like that,
Right.
But yeah, Dominique says it's very scary. I think she's talking about us, about not seeing them at the park and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen these things that's on Amazon for like visually impaired parents. It's like a little bracelet you put on I don't know, it makes a noise if they go too far or you try to locate them. It beeps.
Yeah.
One of my vision teachers had come out and she said just put bells on them. Literally just put,
I seen a girl in the mall. Her toddler had on little squeaky shoes, and I want those.
They put the bells like on their shoestrings.
Mm-hmm. They have to tie it on their laces so you can hear which, where it is.
Yeah.
And when my niece started crawling, she had bought like a little bracelet that we literally just put on her ankle, so then I could hear where she was with the little bracelet.
Okay.
So yeah.
Latunza said,
they recommended.
Latunza said Caden used to also do the thumbs up at soccer. He's a thumbs up for her at soccer.
That's cute.
Or even like saying in public, like, because she'll do the thumbs up. I'm like, what do you like? Or I'll say something and she'll say some thumbs up, and then I have to say like, use your words, like speak up, and like, I can't see that or something like that, and like doing that kind of stuff in public, like for other people, it's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
just one of those things where you feel like it's all eyes are on you.
Yep. Were they judging you, thinking that you're not good enough to be a parent because of your disability and all that?
Yeah.
It's all right. It's okay. We showing them.
On Thanksgiving when I went with my boyfriends, family Thanksgiving thing, I found out about it later on that his sister, she wasn't upset about it, but she took offense that I didn't want to sit in the particular chair at their house at a table, and the table was behind a couch and behind the table, and I had sat on a different table at a different chair at the table because it was easier for me to be able to see my child walk around in the living room. So I had to explain to them. I was like, I don't care if that chair was the most comfortable chair in the house, because that's what they told me. They're like, well, we wanted you to be comfortable, and we wanted you to sit in the most comfortable seat, and that was it. And when you told me no, I took offense to it. And I said, well, you have to understand, I'm a visually impaired parent, and I'm in a house full of people I've never met before. Like, I don't want to have to sit somewhere in a house and have to ask people, have you seen my child? Like, that's embarrassing. Like, the reason why I sat in that chair that I sat in is because I can see my child walking around more easily, because there's not a chair blocking me or a table blocking me or a couch blocking me. I can see her walking around. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, yeah, that's not something you would have to think of as a parent, but as a visually impaired parent, I have to be able to see my child like as much as possible. Like, I'm sorry you took offense to that, but my child comes first over me being comfortable in a chair. Like, I'm sorry you took offense, but I need to see my child as much as possible.
Because I just thinking how many people you offend, you know, like, okay, if she wouldn't have said anything, you wouldn't even know that she was thinking like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So how many other people are like offended because we don't see them or acknowledge them or do something?
And just in general, like public, when people like wave at you or say hi or like they know you. And it's like, I feel like I need a shirt that says like it all the time. Like, I'm not ignoring you, I'm sorry.
And I don't have to say, like, hey, who are you? Like, because you recognize clearly if you know my name, you know me. But I'm like, hey, what's your name again? I didn't forget. I'm sure I wouldn't have forgotten you if I could see your face. But, like, it's so awkward having to say that, so I just play it off and be like, hey, how's it going? You know? Don't say anything.
Exactly.
And then after the podcast, I'm like, okay. Right. I lived in Oregon when I was back home, back here to Alaska, and a lot of, history here, and I know a lot of people here, but I would say that losing my vision gives me an excuse to be able to walk past the people that I don't want to see and don't want to talk to, and just ignore them and not feel bad about it because I didn't see them.
Right.
I guess it does give you a pass.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And if you're with somebody, you're like, hey, who was that said something to me? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, I guess we never
Oh my gosh, that happened to me so much. My mom would be like, who was that? I'd be like, I don't know. But I pretend like I know them so well. They'd be like, hey. I'd be like, hey. And then don't know who it is at all.
Well, they call me by name, so they have to know me if they know my name.
I get mad at my mom because she don't know my new classmate.
Yes.
Like, you supposed to know.
Right.
Dominique says she puts her daughter in neon colors, bright whites, bright, colors to be able to see where she is. Let me see. Amber said,
tag team my kids. Like, Carter was 5 years older than Logan, and I'd always be like, stay with Logan. And then I would tell Carter, like, hey, come check in with me, like, every so often, just to say, like, hey, we're good, and then you can go back and play. I mean, that helps when they have an older sibling, but, like, with Uriah and Leah, they don't have an older sibling like that.
Yeah.
oh, typically when I would go to the park, I always had someone else because I could never, I need somebody to drive me to the park, right? So I would always have a friend who had kids, and then or if it's, my boyfriend, I would just be like, like, these were the kids, and he'll point them out, or they'll be like, oh, they're right there on the swing. And then I would look at that little dot running, and I'll just kind of keep an eye on it, like, okay, there's that dot. That's mine right there. That's my dot. That's my little figure.
You know what? Like, I've had a little bit of experience, like, with her being around other kids with their parents, and every time, I don't know if it's something I gotta just get used to, but it's like they'll watch out for her, and they're watching their kids, but they're watching out for her too. And then it's like they they kind of take over. Like, they're the mom.
Okay.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Like,
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
and she'll talk to her, or he'll talk to her, and like I'm
So
saying,
like they kind of correct your child, or is that what you mean?
well, correct her, or like
Just
she's like,
take over. Just like, get down from there and stuff like that.
you know, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. It feels something.
Yeah, that's understandable.
You did not tell me you had 20 kids like so you were close
Because
to
then it just
2,000.
takes away, like, you don't get to
You
see
have-
that
I'm on live.
child. Like,
Charlie.
I know how to tell her things, you know, or how to parent her, or just talk to her, communicate with her. Like, in public, and just, like, I don't know, they're taking over. And I don't like
Yeah. Usually my friends are not like parents that are really involved. Like I'm the one that's like, is she gonna tell her kid to get down? Like, so they just, they just let them be, which sucks sometimes too, because your kid be climbing up a tree you don't even know.
Right. I feel like
I mean, yeah. So I guess
I'm
it's a
getting to the
double-edged
point
sword.
where it's like I'm overdoing it because I don't want my child to be doing something and for other people to be looking at me like, oh, you're not parenting your child. So like when I'm with my child, she's somewhere and there's a group of people watching her. I'm constantly asking like, oh, what's she doing? What's Leah doing? Like, and they're like, she's just playing. She's fine.
Yeah.
She's not doing nothing. I'm like, okay, just make sure. But like I'll see her go off and do something. I'm like, don't mess with that.
Mhm.
It's a toy. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm overdoing it to make sure that I don't feel like I'm not watching.
So what you eating? Oh, it's just candy.
That's the crazy part. I'll be like, don't do that. Da, da, da. They be like, they're okay. Like,
Yeah.
why you keep messing with them? Like, they're okay. I promise you, they're okay. Like, I'm like,
Yeah, but like, for them to say, like, they're okay, she's okay, like, hold on, because you don't know that. She can tell me if she's okay or not.
right.
Not a nasty, but she's not a nasty, she's playing that way. Then, because they'll be like, oh, she's just playing with the toy. Okay, well, let her say that. She can talk, you know?
Mhm.
Because I feel like I'm doing.
Yeah. Latanza said people come up to her all the time, waving or talk to her. She don't know who it is. She'll just be like, who's that? She said she'll be like, who's that? I can't see. I can't do that. I don't know why. My pride will not let me be like, who's that? Who are you?
Yeah, I can't do it either. I can't.
I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, fine.
I'm always just like, oh, hey, how's it going?
I try to talk to them to see if I can recognize their voice.
Yeah. I love it when people remember. Like, oh, hey, so-and-so. Like, that's nice.
Well, one time, my friend's friend came up to me in the mall. She was like, hey. And I was like, hi. I knew who she was based off of her voice and height and all that kind of stuff. And she was like, it's me, Tranisha. And I didn't like that she did that. I felt like she was calling me out, Which is backwards because we want them to do that, but...
I don't mind that. Because, like, my one friend, Jenny from church, she always, when she approaches me, like, in my town or something, she'll come up and she'll lightly put her hand on my shoulder and say, hi, Amanda, it's Jenny. And,
Like, every time?
Every time. Like, we're in church or we're in, if I see her at Target or whatever, like, she'll just lightly put her hand on my shoulder and say, hi, Amanda, it's Jenny.
Oh,
and,
that's
like,
nice.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like, she literally, and it's not like, I don't feel like she's calling me out. I feel like she's just, like, she's introducing me to her, like, vocally.
Yes. I think it's nice when they kind of take you by yourself and do that. Not like walk me away or anything, but maybe just be a little closer, not from far away. But that was me a couple years ago. I don't know how I feel about it now. I think I just feel like that when I know the person. Like, damn, I already know. I figured it out. But the people who I don't know never tell me.
Right. They just be like, hi or hey or whatever. And then after they leave, I'll be like, who was that?
Yeah, sometimes it be guys, right?
And see, Jenny starts out by saying it, like, the very first thing out of her mouth is that. Hi, it's Jenny.
Yeah.
So then we'll start the conversation, and then I'm like, oh, okay. So I already know who I'm talking to then. So I like that.
Sometimes it
I'll be like, I don't know.
sometimes it'd be like a cute guy, and I wouldn't know who he was at all. And I'm like, dang. Like one time we was at Walmart. I was single, and I was like waiting in line for something, and a good looking man came up to me. He kind of like grabbed my arm and like squeezed it, like as if he knew me, but he never said anything. But he must have known me. Like I think he knew me. I just couldn't put my, like you get older.
Yeah, some men will just grab you.
No, but he was standing there for a minute, and I don't know. I feel like I knew him from school. Like some of his features look familiar, but when you grow up, guys look different for some reason.
Yeah, guys look completely different.
They don't look the same. So I feel like I knew him, but I couldn't exactly, like I didn't want to say his name, and it wasn't right.
Right.
I hate that too when you like say the wrong name.
Yes.
And then
Let
they're
me
like,
see.
no. I'm like, oh.
Right. Like, oh.
And then it's like, what are you supposed to say? Because you can't be like, oh, well, you look like Brianna. Because they're not going to believe you.
I know, right?
So,
Oh, Gia's here. Hey, Gia.
Hey, Gia.
Angie said, I hate when you realize who it is after it's too late, or when it's too late.
Right. That's funny.
Can't get their number, nothing, right? It'd be like a friend that you've been meaning to talk to for a long time, and then they're like, all right, and you don't know who it is at all. And then they leave, and like, oh, dang, I want her to do my hair.
or you have a whole conversation with someone, and you literally, days later, still have no idea who it was. But you're like, they know me. I know they know me. They knew my kids. They knew whatever. I have no idea who it was.
Yes. So do you think being a blind mom affects our children differently than it would, kids who have moms without disabilities?
I think, yeah. But I think in a positive way.
Yeah.
I think it gives awareness to a disability, and it lets them be more compassionate and see people with disabilities differently. I think it gives them a greater mindset and allows them to be more empathetic than someone who just grows up with two, fully able-bodied parents. They may not recognize it.
I agree.
Yes.
Gia said most definitely. Yeah, I agree. I don't see a difference. They can be just as good or just as bad, right? So.
But I think it really just helps them recognize disabilities.
Yeah. And understand them more, and not judge somebody else that have a disability because they know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like don't something that they won't do like other people would.
Just because we can get so like in our own tunnel, in our own way, and just headed this direction. Because like I knew when I was growing up, I was sighted, so I didn't think about disabilities. I didn't think about going that far. Not that I was rude to people with disabilities or anything, but like it just wasn't in my forefront. Where I think now it's in my kids' forefront and it's in their tunnel, and they can recognize it a lot more instead of something that is outside of them.
Yeah.
See, and then with me is that my kids, they knew, because since I was born with this disability, that's all they know.
Yeah.
That's all they know. Like, like.
There's no other kind of mom. Like, how, if you ask them now, how is it, or do you see a difference? They wouldn't be able to see a difference because this is literally all they know, and we don't do anything different.
Yeah.
But I think also, me and Erica have a good amount of vision, so they wouldn't be able to understand like other kids whose moms have less vision, But I definitely think it makes them more caring and more, they will look out for somebody else who's disabled in their school faster and try to be more understanding.
Yeah.
Do you guys
I hope.
sometimes wonder if we kind of push our kids to maybe grow up faster because we want them to help us?
No. I think that I allow my kids to help me where they wanted to. I think the opposite for me. I think that I want them to need me to feel like I'm, important, I guess, like I'm not less than a normal mom or whatever. So I might wash their laundry a little longer, maybe until they get a little older. I might clean their room a little longer until they get older. I've taught my kids maybe a little slower just so that I could still have that need, since I've always needed other people. I like when my kids need me, like I like that feeling. So I don't think that I've made them grow up faster. Maybe they may be a little spoiled. I'm not trying to break them out of it now, but I definitely think that I'm the opposite.
No, with me, I mean, just with the one, it has nothing to even to do with my visual impairment. I want her to be as independent as possible because I grew up independent, or my mom made sure I was independent. So I was already cooking and doing meals before I even got to the age of 10 because my mom worked long hours. So I was cooking me and my brother's meals and dinners sometimes. So that's just how I was raised, to be independent and to do stuff and to do their own laundry and stuff like that. So I'm teaching Leah that now as a toddler. But just yesterday, I made her put up dishes, and she did it, and she had fun doing it. I would give her a spoon, and I would tell her, put it right here, it goes right here, and she did. And I loved seeing her do that. Like, it was so cute, and I love seeing kids do grown-up, regular, independent things, because that's what I did. So,
right.
And it has nothing to do with my visual impairment for her to help me and nothing. It was just something I was able to do.
I was going to say the same thing. It doesn't have to do, I think it has more to do with how I was raised. And then the vision part comes second for that. But I want her to be able to do things without me and do things with me. I don't want her to like be my caretaker, like have to take care of me, but I want her to be able to do those things herself. But if I can't do those things, or and I think for me and how I was raised, like my mom she made us do all of that stuff, but she also like made it her life, or like her kids were like her life, like all that she talked and lived and breathed like was her kids, and she didn't have anything else going on outside of that. And that's where it comes in, where I want her to be able to stand on her own, so that I am not all about Naraya 24/7 of the time, so that when she gets to be an adult, like I'm not like stuck, like, well, now what do I do? I want to still be able to live my life, because it's just, I don't know, that's just my experiences.
Right, you're not just a mom, you're a woman also, with your own separate individual interests.
Yeah, I want her to be her own person, I want to be her own person, I don't be just her mom. And I want her to be able to take care of herself, and that means she's got to learn those things. So if I'm not there, I'm not always going to be around for her to she got to pay for herself.
That's why I tell my kids all the time, I'm not always going to be around. So I need y'all to learn this, while I'm here, because I'm not. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
That's not...
I feel guilty because sometimes I rely on my kids for things that I feel like I wouldn't rely on them if I was sighted. So, for example, if Logan misses the bus, I do rely on Carter to drive him. And then I feel guilty to an extent, because it's like, okay, am I putting this additional burden on a sibling that he shouldn't have? But maybe it would still be that way, as another sibling. If I was sighted, maybe like you would still have your other sibling drive. Or like, if I can't read something and I'm trying under my CCTV, or for whatever reason it's not working, or sometimes, I'll be honest, I'm lazy and my kid will be standing right there and I'll say, hey, just read this for me. And then I'm like, am I doing them a disservice to an extent, or am I relying on them too heavily? So I sometimes think about things like that. Not that I'm not trying to make them independent on their own, but I'm thinking, do my kids sort of have this feeling like I need them on that aspect? Like, oh, mom needs us to help her.
Yeah.
And I feel that sort of guilt sometimes.
Yeah, I think that what Des is saying she doesn't want is my problem. I think that growing up, I never felt like I was good at anything. I didn't have any hobbies. I didn't, like I couldn't do a lot. So the one thing I knew from a kid was that I could be a mom. I could be a mom. I could take care of kids. I could take, I can do that. So then having a child, even being young, I was like, oh my gosh, I could do this. I'm gonna be great at it. And my whole life was just them, and I'm trying now to find a balance and to step out and do it on my own, just let them fly away while I figure out who I am. And it's really hard because they're, all I have. Like, they're just very important. And, oh my God, I don't want to cry. I don't want to be the one to cry. But being a mom is so, so important to me. I love them so much. That's all I have. That's what I feel like. And I need to find something else because they will grow up. They will leave. I don't want them to depend on me. Alicia, which is my oldest, which you guys know I'm telling them, she has already said, like, she's going to go to college. And I'm like, yeah, I want you to go to college out of state. I don't want you to be here. I want you to, like, travel the world. And she's like, well, if I go, you coming. And I'm like, I don't want to go. I want you to just go and just live your life. And she's like, well, I can't go without you. And I'm like, what about, the babe? Like, what? I was like, no, because I got to be here with Charlie. Well, you and Charlie got to come with me. I'm like, what about your brother? And she's like, well, he has to take care of himself. But, like, I don't want her to worry about me. But she will. Like, and with my vision, it's going to get worse. Of course she's going to be worried about me. And of course she's going to have those feelings. I just don't want her, because she's so used to me always being available and always being around, to think that she has to take care of me. And it's like a conversation that we've had plenty of times. I've even had these conversations with my own mom because I know, one day, God forbid, my mom gets sick. I can't take care of her. So then she will have to rely on my child. And sometimes that hurts. Like feeling like I can't even take care of my own mother. My daughter's going to take care of me and my mother. That sucks and it hurts.
Right. I told my brother when he got married that thanks for doing that because I'm not going to be able to take care of mom and dad. He needed to get a wife to do what he can't.
Yeah.
And I have sons, and boys aren't like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think sometimes, I wonder sometimes, like, if my oldest does feel some sort of responsibility over me, like, maybe that's part of the reason why he doesn't want to be fully grown and moved out on his own, because he feels like, what would you do without me, sort of thing. And I don't want him to feel that way. I don't want him to feel like he can't live his life because he needs to be here for me.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard trying to find a balance.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like there's a pro and a con, there's a negative and a positive to all of it. So that balance, the life of a
Mom life.
Yep. Let me see.
But I'm glad we can, talk about things and sharing things, and we all have
Yes,
each other to
that's what. Yep.
bounce things off of, and someone might have a different idea, and I love that.
Yeah, we definitely have
support.
we definitely have every kind of mom in our group, whether it's from the first time mom to a boy mom to a girl mom to all of it.
Right.
Single mom. Yep. Not married yet. Been together for too many years.
People don't want to sign papers.
Waiting to get married. I know, right? Shh, don't put nobody out there, Vicky. Come on now.
Goodness, you guys.
have 10 people watching us. Is it? Yes. I mean, people are coming in and out. So if you could say anything to a first-time mom who is visually impaired, what would you say?
You're gonna be a fantastic,
Say it again, Anisha.
and you're just gonna be able to learn as you go. It's a learning process. We as parents, 10, 19 years later, are still learning. You're never gonna stop learning. Every day is a lesson learned. So just do it.
Right. There's no manual in being a parent. There's no book. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. It's trial and error. And you're going to make mistakes, but definitely, as long as your heart's in it, definitely go for it. You got this.
There's no better parent for your child than you. So even if you feel like you're not good enough, you are enough. It's hard. Like I said, it's a learning experience. You learn as you go, and give yourself some grace. You know, every day, it's not gonna be a good day. It's not gonna be a perfect day, but as long as you wake up and you love your child with all your heart and you're there for them, then that's all that really matters. And there's gonna be a lot of people giving you advice about how to do this, how to do what with your child, because it worked best for them. You can try it if you want, but you know you don't have to take every advice you hear. You know what's best for your child. You have instincts, and that's what mostly will get you through it, is your own instinct of how to take care of your child best. Sorry.
Don't know how to take your child.
You're breaking up, Anisha.
I just said, okay, know how to take care of your child the best way. You're going to learn a system. You're going to learn what works for you and your kid.
Des,
What's the question?
you got any advice? What advice would you give a first-time blind mom, or just, mom in general, of course, because
A first-time mom.
just a first-time mom who might be blind?
What they said. What they said, and find support. Other people, other moms, other people that might have gone through it. Because there is going to be a lot of advice, a lot of people. And you can take what you want. You don't have to take all the advice. Take what works.
Erica?
I agree with everybody just said. I mean, shit. You'll learn as you go. I mean, that's all. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I did. That's all I did. I learned that's how I did what's best for me. I don't know. I just learned.
I guess I would just say that just because if you're disabled and you're becoming a mom, or you're worried about being a parent disabled, don't focus too much on the disability part. That has nothing to do with it. You'll find a way, just like you do on your daily life activities. And the only true advice I would give is make sure you have the money, make sure you get plenty of sleep, and make sure it's with the right person.
Yes.
Yes.
That part. That part.
Because you can't exchange that later.
Yes. Nope, you stuck with them. And they, people say 18 years, but it's not 18 years, it's forever.
As the kid said, y'all for life verse.
Yep, because you got to go to the kids' graduation. You got to go to their wedding. You got to go to their child's birth. It's forever. You stuck with that person. Unless they a deadbeat, like mine.
No greater truth than that.
If he's here, I just want you to know. No.
No greater truth has been said.
That is so funny.
Well.
Pick that other parent wisely.
Oh, somebody's here with my middle name, A. Okay, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
The Tons says, trust your own intuition. Yes. Intuition is definitely key. Let me see. Let me see if we got anything else. Lakeisha 843 has been here the whole time. So I just want to say hey.
Thank you for being the whole time.
And she was agreeing that her son is more compassionate. Huh?
Look at her son's compassionate.
Her son is compassionate towards her. What did you say, Anisha? I can't hear you breaking up.
That's Chandrika.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I gotta look at the pictures. Hey, Drika.
I got you, girl.
She got you. So, wait. Annabelle said, I love y'all. She said, love y'all.
Love you, Annabelle.
Well, I think this was a success, right? We're gonna do this every Sunday.
Sunday.
We definitely want to get more moms in here to talk and bring up topics and stuff. We want to raise more awareness to being a disabled mom, but just to talk about things as a mom, regardless. Disability doesn't make us.
Topics or ideas, definitely you can let us know, and we'd love to talk about them.
Yes.
Or any questions.
Yes. Any topics, any questions, please leave it anywhere. I just want to say that being disabled moms just makes us stronger moms, and it just having the word disabled or blind in front of mom just makes us cooler. We lost Amanda. It just means that we're a little stronger, whatever. But I mean, we're all equal, but like we're a little stronger. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you guys for watching us. And who's this? I want to say it's Yessie because I see blue hearts, but let me see. Sasha left hearts.
Thank you,
Yessie left hearts, and Kalisha said bye. Bye, Kalisha. Till I see you again. Sister, okay, hopefully next Sunday, it will be a lot more women, a lot more craziness. And we won't always talk about emotional things. We can have fun conversations. We can talk about anything. So, love everybody. Thank you for supporting us. Help me.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Bye.